Let's talk about a 39-year-old rehabbing. Obviously, you were able to break the news about Aaron Rodgers and his speed bridge and his Achilles that Neil Elatraj did. Neil did my knee. I know him well.
What'd you have?
I had my knee done twice. One by Joe Lombardo, the Lakers, the first time around. Second time with Neil Elatraj. Luckily, I know people in high places. ACL, MCL, meniscus. Then I had the meniscus redone. Oh, yeah. Come on. Rich isn't the only baller on this. I mean, give me a break, Ian. Come on.
I've had no knee surgery, and I hope I didn't just jinx myself.
No, but Neil put my knee back together. He did an amazing job, and he's with the right guy. But what do you know about, because everyone's tuning in to hear about my knee injury here, because I know how important I am here. But Ian, what are you hearing about Aaron Rodgers right now?
I actually am strangely interested in like regular people, non-athletes having major and significant surgeries. Like it's the craziest thing. I mean, because then you have to have like a regular job. You have to sometimes go on like a train or a subway and you have like a boot or crutches and it's a disaster.
Ian, I did it literally. Okay. I did it right after I left Fox Sports. I had 6 weeks of paid vacation. Rich and I were getting married in 6 months. I went skiing with my friend Laura Wasser and popped my knee on the first run of the day. And I've skied my whole life. That was that was the first one. And I called the Lakers from the sled.
Because of course everyone is on the slope.
I was covering the team at
and
the
can
time.
Call the Lakers.
I'm like,
hi, Lakers.
I called John Black, like, John, I tore my knee. Because I knew if I called Rich, I'd cry. And so I flew home. I did all my rehab with Magic Johnson, name drop. Second time around,
Amazing.
15 years later. Oh, and by the way, for my wedding, had stim and ice in the back. You're welcome. I can't believe this podcast has devolved to this. This is so awful.
I'm a little frightened.
Self-absorption.
No,
Should we just talk about Aaron Rodgers or like, does anybody care?
I actually think about this. I'll get to Aaron Rodgers in a second, but I actually think about this. I haven't had any surgeries or anything, knock on wood. But if I do, I will definitely try to get some sort of team physician to do it. Maybe you sort of build a relationship. These guys are so hard to get to. Yeah. Maybe you build a relationship and you're like, hey, while you're doing mine, you might as well tell me about someone else. Now, they don't do it, but you never know.
I rehab with the Lakers guys. I mean, with Magic, it was so sweet. I mean, I was so lucky. But by the way, milk those relationships. I'm a sideline reporter. I love injuries. So then I was able to tell stories on the air more about rehabbing and get really into it and get really nutty. But Neil did do my knee the second time around after I tore it again. So I know what it's like to go through surgery with him, but what are you hearing as I turn it back and not about me?
I hope Neil is paying a sponsorship for this podcast.
Neil doesn't need anything from us. He doesn't need any help. What are you hearing about Aaron? Because enough about me, more about Aaron.
Yeah, it really, really interesting. And I think this was one where, I spent a lot of Friday and Saturday trying to figure out what actually this was. I honestly didn't really know much about the technique. I didn't know what a speed bridge was. I didn't know the name of this until probably, 5:30 on Saturday. I'm watching my son play baseball and I'm getting calls and with my little computer trying to figure this out. So basically what Aaron Rodgers did was there's a technique of Achilles repair where basically they put an internal brace on and it essentially makes it more secure and gives the player the possibility of recovering earlier. No one knows if it will happen. No one knows if Rodgers' rehab will take 7 months or 8 months or 9 months or 4 or 5 months like Cam Akers did a couple years back, right? But it does at least give him the possibility of that. I would also expect, just like your friend Kobe Bryant, another former Laker, may he rest in peace. He went to Germany and got PRP shots. Rodgers may do the same. Anything you can do to kind of get this thing healed up and healthy, I assume he will do that.
Amy Trask, Suzy Shuster for What the Football drops every Tuesday. Subscribe wherever you find your podcasts.